individuals think that kids that come from poverty have the inability to learn because of bad nutrition at home and the family dynamic. And I think people sometimes try to overly compensate for that instead of trying to redirect a kid to be more assertive toward their learning, that they begin to pity them and, poor kid, they come from this and they come from that, instead of, evaluating the child, see what they can do and can't do, see what they know and don't know, and work on that.
One of the first things that comes to my mind is that they're all lower level kids, and that's not always the case. That'd be my biggest one. The second one would be that they're all come from single parent homes, which is not always the case either. The third one would be that they all have behavioral issues, which is also another misconception.
A lot of misconception is that they're not smart, they don't try hard. A lot of that right there. But if you really get to know the kid, they're actually pretty intelligent, and you work with them, they're pretty smart. So, and that's what I've learned from working here. So that's a big one right there. But me growing up, I was always school first type stuff, so I didn't really see that misconception.
For parent engagement is a big struggle for us in the after school program. However, I think that having more family oriented nights, like the schools have multicultural night, they have Fall Fest, for example, something that's geared towards the whole family and not just, sometimes when you do conferences, it's either going to be one or the other, depending on who can come, like father or mother, sometimes even siblings. That is a question that is somewhat hard for me to answer because, like I said, we struggle with that here. But there is that's a thing that I would be interested to learn more information as well, because it's a struggle for me, and I know that it is a misconception, being that kids come from a one parent when there's actually a two parent, and sometimes it's even the case where it's grandparents and parent in the home.
Making an effort to work with those type of kids and really trying to change that misconception. Prepping the teachers too, because I feel like they come in having that conception too, are already off tops, and once they get to working with them, their mind changes a lot. And you can see that with a lot of Edmonds teachers, because we're so close to them. You can see them really working and loving and learning how to work with the kids.
Look at students, kiddos, look at them from where they are. We can't say they're all the same, because they're not. We don't develop the same cognitively, and maturation process varies from person to person. So just take them from where they are and develop that. I'm almost convinced that we probably need to get rid of grades and just develop a kid from where they are to where they need to be a successful citizen, a self-sufficient citizen in life.
Strengthen their background in teaching and stuff like that, and give them more tools and weapons for if they did get students from poverty, how they can handle them and combat them and stuff like that.
I would say that would be a great experience. You would have a step ahead of the rest for those that don't. As a person coming from, as a child coming from poverty myself, I think it was that, especially as I got older, when you get into middle school versus elementary kids aren't really going to pay attention to a teacher that maybe first year teacher. In the middle school, I think when kids get into middle school, they can pick up on a teacher's, what word do I want to use, authenticity or genuineness. And I think that if a person was going to say, that's going to be my profession, I'm going to go teach, I think it would be a great experience to go into a place where there's high poverty and to work with those kids and to see, to kind of see the struggles that they have, so that you are more readily to be prepared for that. Even something as simple as in the mornings having extra snacks in your drawers for those that come in and that may have not been on time to get breakfast. And food is a wonderful thing with kids, and you'd be surprised how many kids are rushed out the door and sent to school without breakfast, and sometimes will be late. So I think not only that, just the experience alone goes a long way. I'm just gonna tell you from my experience. So before I came to Oak Ridge after school program, I've never worked with kids. I did adult halfway houses and I worked with adolescent boys. When I came here, I was scared to death because these are just kids. You know what I mean? Like nobody that's been in the juvenile system or anything. And I was scared to death. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And what I didn't realize that I had was compassion. I swear to you, I never knew. And everybody was like, you're so full of compassion. And the kids just, they know when someone is being real and someone is not. How I related to them was having gone through some of the same issues that they have. So I think it would do a world of difference for a person that's not familiar with the poverty side of the world to get some understanding of what these kids go through.
We're all born in various environments, and we grow up with biases that are not innate, but are exposed to us by how we are nurtured. And for an individual to go into an environment doesn't mean that they're going to come out changed. Like many of us, who especially go to school, we're in it for the grade. But some individuals are in it for the insurance on the dollar. I think it would be good for exposure, because the more you know can help develop you. But if you don't access that, if you don't use that, then you're just going through the motions, I don't think it's really going to help. One has to look within themselves and beyond themselves and see what is the better thing for this kid in front of me. How can I help this kid be the best they can be in reading, math, letter writing, or whatever the subject is, beyond how I go in with preconceived ideas and the luggage of my living, and that how I was raised. Because we always want to apply that, sometimes subconsciously, I think, sometimes overtly. We want to put how we were raised in that situation. So for the exposure, it's okay. And it's good, and I think it's good to go in there, because sometimes you'll discover, I can't do this. Especially in the urban environment, and with the reckless and careless way that public schools are letting the kids run the school. It's ridiculous. And to be exposed to that could help some people decide, hey, you know what, I probably need to select a different career path.